Welcome to Queens by Design. I'm Pastor Emily.
I'm Katie Owens.
And we're coming to you. This is our first time, our first one. Woo-hoo! So why Queens by Design? Well, the Bible says in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, it says, "Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So we're supposed to have rulership. Hey, baby. We're supposed to have rulership. And that's all great, and it sounds good, and it's awesome. And we learn this stuff at church, and it's great. However, how do I do that practically? You know, you read Proverbs 31. We talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, and we're like, oh, yeah, that's great. She's a bad, chick or whatever. But guess what? How do I get to that? How do I do this practically? And this is where we come in. So, Katie, tell us a little bit more what we're going to be doing today.
So today we're going to be discussing some different organizing tips and tricks that we have in regards to a family hub, making sure that all your schedules are in one place so that you guys have family cohesiveness. And we're also going to be discussing some of the ideas with writing a menu or having a menu for you and your family. So that makes things a little bit easier. Also, we are going to close it out with talking about some cleaning, different ideas or different tips for cleaning with little kids, cleaning with older kids, or just cleaning in general.
So we got a full show. So I guess we'll start with the family hub. Just to give a little background on me, I'm married for over 19 years. My husband and I both pastor our church that we founded, Dominion Kingdom Family Ministries. We have 5 kids, and last year we adopted. We call her our bonus daughter. She's grown, but so that's kind of like our family dynamics. Katie, how many kids do you have?
We have 5.
5, and
so our oldest is 11, and he is actually involved in some college courses and doing some cool, crazy stuff with that. And then our youngest is 1.5, and she's crazy and without the college.
So how long have you and your husband been married?
We've been married since 2007.
2007.
Yep. So what, 13 years?
Well, let's see. 2007. Yeah. 13. Yeah, it would be. Woohoo! She's like, so these are just some of the stuff that we have used in our homes. These are practical tips. You can tweak it however you need to tweak it for your house. But I just want to come up and
what works for you? What's best for you?
Whatever works for you. But these are just like kind of to whet your appetite, to get you started or what have you. So for me, we had a family hub. And the reason why I had a family hub is because I know as my kids have gotten older, like my 2 youngest, they're twins, they're 13. They just turned 13. So my kids are in different stuff now. So, and our oldest, he's 25. And so, and he's out the house, but so we have like 4 that's in the house. Well, 3.5, because my oldest daughter is in college. So any rate, but prior to all that, at least about 4 years ago, things started changing in my house. They started getting into different stuff. And so I was like, and they would come back and tell me, hey, Mom, I need to be picked up from this event. I need to be picked up. And everybody's telling me this. Well, if you got all these people in your house, it gets very difficult to keep that all up and who's doing what, when, and why. And at the time, like I was working full time, my husband's working full time. One time he had to go out of town. So I was like, oh my gosh. And everybody's telling me this at one time. I'm like, okay, this is not working. So,
listen, I'm Superwoman, but I'm not that Superwoman.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, guys, all right, that's awesome. So, so at any rate, so I decided that I made a family hub in our house. It's in our hallway, and it's just like a cork board, and I have a calendar up there. And my kids are older. I tell them, write stuff down. You need a ride, on Wednesday at 4. You need to be picked up at 4:00. You need to write it down. And
you
so
practice, write it down. You got dinner with somebody, write it down.
Write it down. You spending at a friend's house, those kinds of things. Put it down. And it helps me like really organized to be able to, get everybody together. Especially it was really good too when I'm making doctor's appointments.
Yep.
When I can make a doctor's appointment for this child or what have you. So it really got me really organized and get them organized. And for my kids, it gave them, it made them responsible. Because if you don't put your name on there, then don't expect me to give you a ride. Get on that bus and get home. So this is all the stuff.
That accountability factor is crazy.
It is. And it made them have responsibility for that portion of it. And also on our little family hub, we also have like their schedules, like their sports. Like my daughter Taylor did golf, so we knew where, if it was a away game, it was a home game, because home games I had to take her, pick her up. Away games I didn't, I just had to pick her up. It was just made it so much easier for us, and it's going to make your life easier. And I even had other lady I worked with. Her hub was right at her door. She put, matter of fact, she did hers daily. She worked everything she had to do daily. Now that didn't work. That wouldn't work for me. I'm just being real, but it works for her. So that's another way you can do it as well.
Yeah. But if you don't do it by the month, doing it weekly would be an idea too.
Exactly. I think a lot of times when I know something's coming up, I'll put it on the calendar. And then kind of everybody knows, okay, cool. So that's been really helpful to me anyway, as a mother and organizing for our family. So another thing, and kind of like what you're about to say, go into is like a family menu that can go up in there. So
listen,
you found on that.
The most dreaded question that I absolutely hate every single day is what's for dinner?
Exactly.
What's for dinner? It never fails. 3, 4 o'clock. Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?
Hey,
babe, what's for dinner?
You're lucky they wait until 3, 4 o'clock. Wake up in the morning. What's for dinner? Like, not on the radar. Not on the radar.
I'm thinking about that. Listen, let's just handle breakfast for right now, okay?
Exactly. Can we get you out to school? Thank you. Exactly.
I don't know about you, but with having a big family, it's having a big family and having a family hub, having a family or having a meal plan. It's one thing that just takes a little bit of stress off your plate so that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. And it's just done. And it makes things easier for you. I used to do, when I first started it, I was super ambitious and I did a month at a time. And what I would do is I would sit down the week before that next month. So the last week of the month, I would sit down and I would write my menu for the entire month. And my mom used to get on my case all the time because she'd be like, Katie, why don't you just copy the month all over and over and over again? I'm like, listen, that gets old. But moms are smart. She might have had something going there. So But I know a lot of people do 1 week at a time, and some people do 2 weeks at a time. You know, like you said with your family hub, whatever works for you is how you need to handle it, and what makes it work. Because this isn't supposed to be another to-do list task.
Yes,
it's to be something that helps you with your to-do list, so that it's not so stressful. And I
think we kind of look at it as it's something that answers a question that you always have each day.
Yeah.
And it's just like one thing you don't have to make a decision about that day, because it's already been pre-decided.
It's already done. And there are definitely times that I don't follow my menu. If for some reason I'm wanting burgers instead of chicken tacos, okay. You know, and one of the things that I try and do is I try and spread out the days that I use my crock pot, so that I'm not overworking my crock pot as much.
Yeah.
I have an issue with making sure that the beef is thawed out or the chicken is thawed out. And when I can use my crock pot, man, just go ahead. If I have something on the menu that's not supposed to be in a crock pot, but I didn't thaw out the beef that night, guess what? We're having a crock pot meal.
Exactly. So but that's beautiful, though.
Right. And another thing that is really helpful to me is that when I do my menus, I do my grocery lists based off of my menus. And I don't know about you, but I have when the pandemic hit, it was insane. And getting out and going grocery shopping,
that was crazy.
Right.
That was I went in there and there was like empty shelves. I'm like,
nothing.
Wait, what? Exactly. So you have to be very flexible.
Having to be flexible, having to be prepared is so helpful in those situations.
Yeah, that's a good point, though.
And I know that not now, well, still now, but before, trucking 5 kids through a grocery store trying to get your groceries is not the most fun thing.
No, it's not. No. I used to dread that.
Yeah.
And then people wanted to stop and Google and all over the kids, and I'm like, I just wanted bread.
I just
go get bread.
I just want to get my groceries. Okay, I know they're cute, but let's go.
Exactly. It's like I just wanted bread. They're so cute. Thank you. I gotta keep moving.
Oh, your kids are so well mannered. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they're so well behaved. Thank you.
I threatened them before we came into the store.
I would have those conversations with my kids. I was like, hey, listen, this is a grocery store trip. This is not a toy trip. Do you understand what I just said? This is not a toy trip. Okay, so we're getting food. We're getting food. All right, we're good. I would have these conversations. And I'm like, and then we go into the store and they're like, your kids are just so well behaved. Yeah, we had a little conversation. Yeah.
But you're better than me. I'm not telling anybody that we had the conversation in the car. Nope. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't actually tell people at the time I had a conversation, but I'm like, hey now.
14 whoopings ago.
They're like this, and they're like, I would have these conversations with them, and they was like, you have this scary whisper. Mm-hmm. And like if they were acting up or starting to, and people wouldn't really know. And I just bend down and I'm like, you're about to get embarrassed really quickly. and I just stand back up and I just smile at them and they're like, oh my gosh. They knew.
Move.
They knew it's about to come down.
But I found that with the pandemic and things changing and things like that, it's been I really enjoy being able to do online shopping.
Yes.
I like being able to go order what I need, go through my menu, order my groceries, and then order my groceries and then head out and go and pick them up the next day or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it, and I'm not as tempted
Yeah.
by things like brownies or right.
Yeah,
I just get the ingredients to make the brownies.
Yes. That's how I tell myself. I'm like, I just get the ingredients to buy. So that means I have to think about it. If I really, really want it, I have to make it.
Listen, that's the most terrible thing in the whole world. I will literally get ingredients so that I can make cupcakes, so that I can make brownies, so that I can make cookies. And I feel like if I'm making it, I'm putting a little bit more effort into it, so it's okay.
You're like, it's okay. It's cool. I'm just saying. But I do like, I really do like the online shopping. For the most part, there's some stuff you can't get that you can in a regular store, but for the most part, it's really it helps me to be really organized. And I can just look at the list. Okay, what did I put on my list? I do this. Okay, no, I don't need this right now. I can put this on there. And then a lot of times, even with like some place like Walmart, they'll have your list on there. So a lot of times you can just go back in there and go, repeat.
And you know, the cool thing is that it also helps me. Let's say that I get a quick minute or I get some time and I'm able to go out to the grocery store and I don't have to order them online. I still have my list right there, like you just said. Like, it's right there on my phone. It's convenient to me. I can go, I can pick it up. I can see what I need and what I don't need. If there's something that this store has versus that store.
Exactly.
I think that it's a great tool to help you with grocery shopping and that venture or that task, if you will.
So let's turn our attention to cleaning. Since we're doing organization, you got to have cleaning. We got to be, you have to clean with the organization because that's just part of the thing. So I know with me, with cleaning with my kids, part of my hub, we're going back to the hub, is their cleaning task. Yeah. I've done this several different ways. You're going to find when you have younger kids, it's a certain way. When you have older kids, you have to tweak it too.
That's right. You got to tweak it and make it work for you.
For your household. For me, tweaking it too around, older kids, work schedules, just different stuff, the stuff they're in and stuff like that. We're tweaking different stuff and how this works together. Sometimes we've had them work in pairs. They have a buddy system. Sometimes now they kind of work a lot of stuff independently, but that's because they're older. But I do have a list of stuff on this column, like it'll say, wash dishes or, wash clothes. And on this one's like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. And so they know what's expected. And again, that's one thing as a mom, you don't have to keep on thinking about, what do you want me to do today? Okay.
Listen, I just worked. I just did school. I just did this. I just did that. And now I gotta do what? Oh, clean the house? Okay.
Exactly.
When all I really want to do is sit down and watch Chicago PD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And so I think too, having that list, it helps everybody work together as a family unison. Because I always tell them, I said, listen, you have like maybe 15 minutes worth of work for the most part, except when you're washing they're washing their own clothes. But 15 minutes worth of work. So it's not a big deal. I'm like, but think about it. When everybody doesn't do their job, then it becomes a big deal because it piles up. And again, that helps them be more responsible, even as kids. You know, I always tell them, my husband always tell them, this is not a hotel. Not a hotel. You know, guys. So,
well, I think that it's difficult. One of the things that I kind of struggle with is allowing the kids to take over those responsibilities, because I am so anal retentive about some things. I will admit that. But a long time ago, I used to think like, oh, if I have them do the dishes and then they don't really clean the dishes, then I'm going to have to do the dishes all over again. So what's the point in me doing the dishes? Aha, grasshopper. The crazy thing is that one of the things that I have implemented with our family is the kids or the girls help me with chores after dinner every night. Mm-hmm. And we kind of slack off a little bit on the weekends and stuff like that, or if we order food in or things like that, it's not as serious. But exactly. You know, I've got my 4-year-old wiping off the table, and my 6-year-old will sweep the floors, and then my 8-year-old does the dishes. Now, mind you, we've only been doing this for probably a month, maybe. But at the same time, my daughter, who's 8, who's responsible for doing the dishes after dinner, did them all by herself the other day. And I was just like, oh, I was so excited.
I think that was
yay!
I think that's important, because I remember when my kids were younger, and especially when we had our twins were our last ones, and at that point, and there's 5 of them, and then I was doing everything, and my husband was like, "Look, there are 5 of them. You're gonna have to let them do stuff." And I remember my son and my daughter, my oldest ones, they were in there and they were washing dishes. I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't do it like I do, and I had to leave the room. My husband's like, leave the room. I got them. But it freed me up to do other things that I need to do. And he was right. At the end of the day, he was right. Yeah, no, they won't do it like I do it at first, but they have gotten so much better over time. And it's so funny, because I'll go someplace and they're like, man, your kids is really clean, really well. Really? And I'm like, you know what? Like, and then when they come home, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need you to clean just as well here.
Yeah, listen, that is another thing that I do, is the difference between them cleaning up or cleaning up an area and me being like, okay, I need you guys to clean up. But then me being like, okay, I need you to clean up like I would clean up. Okay.
Yeah, because I asked them, I was like, you clean? Yeah.
There's a difference.
Did you clean up like I clean up?
Right.
You pause, go clean.
Right.
No, you didn't. You know, and so there's in that they know the difference between that too. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need that to happen. But I think it's like when you're little, I think when they were little, like telling them to go clean the room wasn't really productive. But I would have to say, okay, we're cleaning the room today. Okay, right. First, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take, you know, if they had junk on their beds, take everything off your bed, and then we're going to make our beds. And I would have to break it down in smaller pieces.
Teaching them those smaller tasks versus a larger task. It helps.
It does, and telling them like how to clean. Like even when they're older, sometimes I'm like, listen, I want you to do this. This is what I'm talking about. When I say this, right. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And I used to tell them even in my kitchen, because I do move stuff around in my kitchen. And sometimes when they don't know where stuff goes, they'll just put it anywhere. I'm like, oh, you're rearranging my kitchen. That's a no.
No. See, mommy does that. You do not.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, no, we don't do that. And so I'm like, you come get me. I'd rather you come get me. And so those little things like that are helpful.
Right.
keep your sanity and and your stuff the way you like it, and they know what you're expecting of them. It just makes it clearer for them.
I know that one of the things that I really struggle with littler kids is using chemicals and having them use chemicals.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to this product called Norwex a few years ago, and it's an amazing product. I went to one of my friends sells Norwex, and it's a whole line of different cleaning products.
Oh.
And one of the crazy things about it is that you don't need any chemicals. All you need is water. So I can use it and it's safe. And cool. It still gets things clean because of I think it's got something called backlock, and it's a silver lining inside the cloth that helps to get 99% of bacteria from surfaces, hard surfaces. They've got, so anyways, I went to this party a long time ago, and one of the things that she told me was, or one of the points that she said was that as a stay-at-home mom, what are you doing a lot during the day? You're cleaning up, you're cleaning off the table, you're washing the dishes, you're doing laundry, you're around all these chemicals, and you have no idea how harmful they actually are. There's a statistic that says that women who work at home have a 54% higher chance of dying from cancer being related to the chemicals that they use at home.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
So that hooked me right there.
Wow.
And they have these amazing things called dusting mitts.
Mm-hmm.
And they come in kid sizes too.
Oh, that's even better. I know. Awesome.
So, but then the kids think that it's fun, and it's something that they get to do, and they get to help, and they get to see that progress. And Savea, I love her to death, but she is very quick to point out that my television is dusty.
I'm like, baby, here you go.
So you think it's dusty, you know where the dust mitt is. Thank you very much. So, but it's crazy. And they have different cloths. Like this is the EnviroCloth, and it's just a cloth made from microfiber, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to use it dry if you want to like dust something off, and it doesn't allow the dust to get back into the air. And then they have a window cloth, so I can clean my windows now listen, I only have 8 windows. But I have 5 kids.
Make it hand press. Yeah.
So, but I can clean my windows in less than 30 minutes. I can clean all my windows and my doors, and they look awesome, sparkling.
That's awesome. Now, can you wash those cloths or? Okay,
so they have a detergent that you're supposed to use, but what I do is I wash them. I think I wash them like every 2 weeks or every other week. I do a load because I'm
with 5 kids
cleaning a lot. But they have some awesome products, and some of the things that I really like about it is, or one of the things that I benefit from it is, if you have little kids who you're potty training, It's easy. It's a super easy cleanup, and I don't feel gross, or I don't feel like it's not clean. It doesn't stink. It cleans it up really well, especially if it gets on a couch or if something happens to a bed.
You know, those are things, guys. They happen. We're being real here.
But it's just one of those things that I really enjoy the product. It makes it easier for me. Again, it's just a trick that I use. It's just something that I use that makes life easier for me, so that I'm not having to spend $50 million on cleaning products. And
that's a good point too. Cost.
Yeah. I mean, I can get all of this stuff for a certain amount of price. And is it more expensive than just going to Walmart and buying a microfiber cloth? For sure. But how long is it going to last?
Well, then you talk about the one you got is going to last longer, and then it's safer.
And the benefits from it, man, the benefits from it. And I know that I have the mop system also. They have a mop system, and it's just amazing. There's a dry mop, and then there's a wet mop, and there's if you have hardwood floors, I don't know if you have hardwood floors, but I have hardwood floors. Listen, if somebody would have told me the amount of sweeping you do every day because you have hardwood floors, okay.
It's fun.
But it's super easy, and the kids like it. They have a small mop. They have a large mop. They have all kinds of stuff. So they incorporate allowing little kids to help you too. And then they feel
love that.
They feel like they're accomplishing something and being,
I think it gives them some pride too in their home.
Yeah, as well. For sure.
It gives them pride that they cleaned this up. They did this. They straightened this up. It gives them ownership as well, and I think that's very important in teaching that for kids. So organization is a very good tool to teach. It's something you need to teach your kids. It gives them pride, and a lot of times you don't see all that. Kids don't always have that. So it really is helpful for them.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about, hey, listen, I understand you want to help me clean, but that's a really bad chemical that I don't want it to get on your skin. Exactly. So you can't help me. It's just water,
Yep, exactly. So that is very, very important, because I used to deal with my kids like, no, you can't do that one. Or you can do this one, but you can't do that one.
Or stay out from underneath the sink. Don't touch anything that's underneath the sink. I don't have to say that anymore.
That's awesome.
I have a funny story to tell you. So they have detergent, right? And they make a detergent. Well, one time a friend of ours came over, and she was watching the kids, and Daryl and I went out on a date. And sometimes what you can do is you can actually boil your cloths so that it kind of just gets all the really, when you're deep cleaning them, you're supposed to boil them. Okay. So I have a little salt shaker container of the detergent upstairs under my sink. Well, my friend put salt on her pizza. To each his own. And she saw the salt shaker, and it was labeled with the stuff.
We have the same friend.
It was labeled with the name of the Norwex detergent. I put it on there, but she was like, oh, well, maybe this is just like an organic, safe, healthy new salt that Katie has. No, honey, it's under the sink. Okay. So she put it on her pizza, and she ate her pizza.
Oh my gosh.
She calls me and she's like, Katie, what? Am I going to die? I have to go to the hospital. It's all natural products.
Wow.
She was fine. I told her to drink a lot of water. She was fine.
We don't recommend you eating it.
I don't recommend eating it.
This is a disclaimer right here.
Don't get it twisted. We're not,
but that's just a good point. You know what? We're about out of time. But thank you everyone for joining us for our first Queens by Design. Keep watching on Facebook. We'll be doing pop-ups throughout the year, and let us know if you have a some kind of subject matter you want us to talk about. We're very interested. Let us know.
Tips and tricks. Let us know your tips and tricks too.
Exactly. So again, from the both of us, thank you for joining us. See you later.
See ya.
Bye. Stop recording.